Hey folks, Cornell here. Wanted to give you guys a breakdown on the Necromancer build I've been using as of late. It's an update of the Saint Bone Blender, as I was calling it. So let's go ahead and jump right into the skills. On the initial, we have Siphon Blood, which generates 15 essence each time damage is dealt. Siphon the blood from the targeted enemy, dealing 300% weapon damage as poison. Siphon Blood heals you for 2% of your total health every second while channeled. Damage is increased by 10% each time damage is dealt, max of 10 stacks. This is with the Power Shift rune on Siphon Blood. On Death Nova, I'm using the Blight rune, cost of 20 essence. Unleash a Nova that deals 350% weapon damage as poison to all nearby enemies within 25 yards. Leave a lingering patch of Blight on the ground, slowing enemies by 60%. And causing them to deal 15% less damage for 1 second. Then Bone Armor. Cost of 10 essence, cooldown of 10 seconds. Rip bones from nearby enemies, dealing 125% weapon damage as physical, and create armor that reduces damage taken by 3% per enemy hit up to a maximum of 10 enemies. Lasts for 60 seconds. With the Dislocation rune, it has the added effect of enemies hit are also stunned for 2 seconds. Next we have Army of the Dead with the Blighted Grasp rune. Cooldown of 120 seconds. Skeletal hands rise from the ground, damaging enemies within 15 yards for 14,000% weapon damage as poison. Lasts 5 seconds. Devour with the Devouring Aura rune. You are emitting an aura that consumes all corpses within 15 yards to restore 11 essence per corpse. This range of this effect is increased by 50% of your gold pickup radius. Frailty. You are emitting an aura that applies a crippling curse which kills enemies within 15 yards with less than 15% health. And then the range of this effect is increased again by 50% of your gold pickup radius. On the passives, I've got Swift Harvesting, which increases the attack speed of Bone Spike, Siphon Blood, and Grim Scythe by 15%. Life from Death, consuming a corpse has 20% chance to spawn a health globe. Draw Life, increase your life regeneration by 10% for each enemy within 20 yards. And Standalone, increase armor by 100%, reduced by 10% for each active minion. Being I have no active minions with this build, it's a guaranteed 100% armor boost. Now onto the gear. I'm wearing the 6-piece Grace of Inarius. The 2-set bonus for this armor build is Bone Armor damage is increased by 1000%. The 4-set bonus, Bone Armor grants an additional 2% reduction per enemy hit. And the 6-set Bone Armor also activates a Swirling Tornado of Bone, damaging nearby enemies for 750% weapon damage and increasing the damage they take from the Necromancer by 2,750%. The weapon I'm using is the Funerary Pick. Its special ability is Siphon Blood, drains blood from 2 additional targets. My offhander, attacking with Siphon Blood has a 42% chance to cast a free Blood Nova. The ring I'm using right now is Uncursed enemies are pulled to the target location when a curse is applied to them. This is Brig's Wrath. Let me step back one more. The offhand is called Iron Rose. The gem I'm using in this ring is the Gem of Efficacious Toxin. Poison all enemies hit for 4,500% weapon damage over 10 seconds. And then after rank 25, all enemies you poison take 10% increased damage from all sources and deal 10% less damage. On my other ring, I'm using Lorinel's Sunstone, which your damage reduction is increased by 0.8% for every 1% life you are missing. In this one, I'm using the Pain Enhancer. Critical hits cause the enemy to bleed for 5,000% weapon damage as physical over 3 seconds. After 25, it's Gain Blood Frenzy, granting you 3% increased attack speed for each bleeding enemy within 20 yards. On the bracers, I'm using the Ancient Parthen Defenders. Each stunned enemy within 25 yards reduces your damage taken by 11%. And finally, on the amulet, I'm using the Wisdom of Kalan. Increases the maximum stacks of bone armor by 5. With the Bane of the Trapped gem, increased damage against enemies under the effects of control and parrying effects by 30%. And then gain an ore that reduces the movement speed of enemies within 15 yards by 30%. So that's the breakdown as to all the pieces, and of course then the belt I'm using the Witching Hour just for the time being. It is a placeholder until I can find something a little more specific. So that is the build in a nutshell. Let me clean out my inventory and I'll run a Greater Rift to show the gameplay of this build. And that's where we'll end from there. Now I know a lot of people are enjoying Rathma or Plague right now, but I personally have, since the beta started, at least since I got into the beta, have enjoyed the Saint or Grace of Inarius set, as it's called. So let's go ahead and hop on in here. And for demonstration purposes, I'll go ahead and turn it down to 57. And let's hop right in. So, nice big pack to start out with. Instant 15 stacks. As you can see, just kind of tearing through them. I'll let the gameplay speak for itself from this point on. So I'll see you guys at the other end of the Greater Rift. Suffer to death. I'm sorry, folks. And no build is absolutely perfect or invulnerable. I had got a double pack on me. But we're still ahead of that timer. That just ain't cool. Oh, it teleported me right into the stupid thing. Not my best showing on this build, but should still clear the timer. Wow, a lot of poison enemies in this run. Hate those accursed mobs. Alright, almost there. And there we go. folks, that is my build at this point. Wasn't the prettiest run, but we still cleared it with plenty of time to go. Hope you've enjoyed it. Stay tuned here at Midlife Crits, especially for our Cornell Play show. I'll be playing more of the Necromancer Beta. And again, I have been Cornell. This is the Necromancer Saint Bone Blender. I hope you enjoyed. And make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more from us. We will see you on the couch.